I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks so much for joining us. It's almost time for a popular concert series to crank back up in Augusta. Kevin Grogan will be here to tell us about the Southern Soul and Song series. Also, a conversation with a very complex and interesting leader in the Garden City. Jeff Pullium will talk with me about everything from his early career days to his garden meditations. But first, did you know this month shines the light on thrift shopping? According to a recent survey conducted by Top Cashback, 83% of Americans would consider buying refurbished or used items in order to save money. To many people, thrifting is more than just secondhand shopping. It's a lifestyle. It's better for the environment and for your wallet. Here are some thrifting tips from Top Cashback's experts. Keep an open mind. If you're looking for something specific, you're limiting yourself from finding another piece that could really catch your eye. Only go in with a budget and an idea of what you need. When examining clothing items, make sure to look at the tags and fine print. Look for durable materials like cotton or wool, as they will provide the most value if you're looking for long-lasting fashion at a significant discount. And shop local. Many thrift stores run by churches or charities have a lot of hidden gems, from clothing to furniture, for a heavy discount. If you want to save money on school or work clothes, you might want to check out a local thrift store. Amelia Roy has more.
Here's one of those countertop compost containers that if you took it home and ran through your dishwasher, it'd be perfectly fine, and they've got $7.99 on it.
Patrick Humphrey says he's been an avid thrifter for 25 years.
If I can get a $1,000 suit for $15 to wear to work, I'd much rather save myself the $900.
For some people, the thought of wading through heaps of clothes, furniture, and miscellaneous items can be intimidating. But all it takes is some strategy to get the best finds. I'm told that the key to thrifting is consistency. So if you want to get the best deals, you have to keep going back.
Some people come every day. We have a lot of regulars who know to find the really cool stuff, they got to check in every day because the cool stuff goes fast.
And as Laura Carter with Cause for Pause tells us, sales can change constantly.
Each week, we put certain color tags on sale, and they rotate every week.
Another focus of National Thrift Shop Day is supporting local charitable organizations.
We provide new clothes, new shoes, hygiene items, and school supplies to elementary, middle school, and high school students.
There's a lot of good stuff in thrift stores.
You may know my first guest today as a religious leader, an educator and media specialist, a performer, or a horticulturalist perhaps, talking about the multi-talented and oh so interesting Jeff Pullium. Everybody meet Jeff. Jeff, I am delighted that you're here today. And thinking about thrifting, I have a favorite thrifting purchase that I got decades ago, and it is a white fox boa.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and there is just a time when I wore that and I just thought I was everything. I got it like back in my 20s, and I just thought this was great, and sadly I don't know that I could even put my hands on it now. But I loved thinking about, where has this been?
Wow.
What occasions has this been in? Do you have a favorite thrifting story or item?
Well, I thrift all the time for small pottery from the 1950s. I have little vases that I put African bonnets in. My grandmother had those sitting in the window, and so I look for those kind of stuff. I thrift, Jenny, for most of my clothes. The shirt I have on today is thrifted.
That's thrifted shirt.
Yeah,
wow.
Thrifted shirt, $1, $2. It was thrifted and then marked down, and so I love it too. And I think it's great to recycle stuff.
I do too. The recycling is really important, and just not just keep. We have so much stuff that just winds up in landfills. So I love that. I also collect amethyst glass, so I will always pop in and just see what I can find in amethyst glass. And those are great places to look, you know, because somebody's grandma always had it and kids didn't want it, and it'll wind up somewhere. But that's what you love. Somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure, and I love that. And when I think about treasures, one of the things that I really love about Jeff is following his social media. Jeff, your posts to me are uplifting. You know, some people you feel like they post to rant, to complain. I feel like you're often building people up. I love the detailed descriptions that you'll sometimes give of flowers. And your garden must be amazing. His posts are so beautiful. And so many times there's a story attached to one of your plants.
Well, most everything in my garden has a story. Like I can point and say, oh, Phyllis gave me those crocosmias, or that's Aunt Bonnie's almond bush, or that's my grandmother's lilac. And so gardening is connected to giving. And so I do that. And you were talking about the posting. Two of my friends from high school, Jenny, asked me during COVID if I would please begin posting something to uplift their spirits in the garden.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of when I took a turn to really try to use my social media post as a time to uplift the human spirit. And so like this week, there's a beautiful poem from Mary Oliver, who's one of my favorite poets. And so I just love the positive energy and connectivity that social media can give us.
That it can give us, you're
Yes.
right. Right, because it can be used for such good.
Yes, and it doesn't replace human connectivity. Like, I love sitting here talking to you versus knowing you're reading my post. But I also feel connected to you when you respond on my post. Oh, that is
Yeah.
lovely. Or,
Yeah.
wow, this moves me. Or, you know, when I talk about my parents and someone says, Jeff, you're so lucky to have them.
Right.
So it is a way that we can connect and interact with each other.
You know, you mentioned your parents, and I think it is so fantastic that you still have both of your parents. I lost my father when I was 32, so I've lived so much of my life without him, and he didn't get to see his grandchildren and watch them. And so I really am so sincere when I say to someone, oh my gosh, you still have your parents.
I am 63, will be 64 in December, and you can always add 20 years and get my mom's age. Not that you're supposed to tell your mother's age, but my mom is 84 and my dad's 85. I've recently moved them from Western Carolina here to Augusta. They love Augusta, but they think it's hot. Which it is.
Welcome to Augusta.
But I am so blessed that God has allowed them to continue their walk on the earth and be here present with me. And my mom is an avid gardener. So it's from her that I get my green thumbs.
Okay, well, this is a good place to take a little break. We're going to continue our conversation with Jeff Pullium right after this short break. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking today with Jeff Pullium, who's an ordained minister, world traveler, green thumb goat, and he's retired as the media specialist at Davidson Fine Arts School. Jeff, your career, did you start in the ministry? Is that how your career path began?
Well, when I graduated from high school, I thought I'd be a physical therapist, but I felt called into ministry and was ordained in 1985 as an elder of the United Methodist Church and was sent to the Augusta area. And I pastored churches for about 7 years, and then I moved to, in the Methodist Church, what is called an appointment beyond the local church, and I was an adolescent counselor out at the East Georgia Community Mental Health Center.
Right.
And I did that for about 10 years and did ministry part-time the entire time. And then I needed a break from mental health, and so I went to Davidson School of the Fine Arts.
You needed a break from mental health for your mental health,
Yes.
right?
And I went to the library. So this is how I describe it to people. I tell people I spent 1/3 of my professional life proclaiming the story of Jesus and God's love.
Yeah.
The second part of my professional career was listening to people's stories, helping them sort through their stuff. And the third part of my professional career was collecting stories and sharing in the richness of books and media with the kids at Davidson. And that was such a blessing.
I love that. And I'm sure dealing with so many young people, it keeps you so engaged, you know, and you don't get stuck living in the past. You are present when you're dealing with that many young people. You also love to travel, and you have such a great appreciation for the arts.
Wow, where to start? The world is a big and wonderful place. We've been given gifts everywhere.
Absolutely.
So I love to experience new food, new flowers, new plants, and so I'm currently retired and spending every cent of my retirement money on
That's fantastic.
every cent of it that I can on travel. So I adore traveling, and in the vein of storytelling, there's no better place to tell a story than on the stage. And so I have been on every stage in Augusta in community theater and adore acting, getting to walk in someone else's shoes, to listen to the characterizations and nuances that allow you to become somebody else.
Right.
And so, at any rate, drama, I've been on the stage since I was in the 8th grade.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that you need that kind of a background to do what you have done, because you present yourself with a lot of confidence, but also a lot of humility. And I think part of that comes from a gratitude. I feel like you live your life with a lot of gratitude.
Well, I do, Jenny, and I really believe in the worth, value, and dignity of every human person, and that our goal, no matter what our spirituality is to lift one another up and to be grateful for the gifts that you offer me. I'm sure you have places that you need to grow or places that you irritate people, but that's not as important as the way you bless someone. And you do that on the air for the community. And so we appreciate that. And so my goal, I think, is really just to practice a spirituality that is simply the presence of love, because that's where I believe God dwells.
Yeah.
And that there's no greater goal than to simply be kind.
It's such a simple message, and if we could all just do it. You know, you're letting the light shine through you, you're being kind to others.
Thank you.
And it catches people's attention. And that's why I really wanted to bring Jeff on, because I think that there are people that we can try to emulate, and we can look at the way some people live their lives and think, you know, that's what I want to do. I think that you have had the wonderful ability to impact many lives through your counseling, through the schoolwork, through your ministry, and like you said now, through social media. I'm so glad you're part of this community, and I'm so glad to know you.
Well, thank you. The same is true here. I'm glad to know you, and thank you for having me on the show, and hopefully what we said today will inspire someone else to just dig into the earth and be grateful and loving and kind.
Yes. How can I top that at all? Not possible. Jeff Pullium, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Still ahead on Jenny, the first concert in this season's Southern Soul and Song is right around the corner. The Morris